Well, surprise, surprise, we've been recording.
Hey.
Gotcha.
Oh, you got me.
Oh.
Actually, rerun that. I want to make sure I looked and sounded good. Hey, just stop that.
Well, we got our second special guest here,
Yes, we do.
Tom Hall. Welcome.
World famous winemaker. No, I'm just kidding.
What are we sipping on,
yet.
Tom?
I'm
This shit-
a world famous wine collector, though.
There you
Actually,
go.
that's legit.
Get out of this world. This shit looks very, very nice, to be honest with you. What is it called?
I had to bring some nice glasses because I didn't want. I mean, Travis over here sipping out of a muscle cup, but this is actually a Cirque Bootlegger's Hill. It's a Pinot from Russian River. Anyways, it's a crazy story. Like this guy, Costa Brown, he started his winery and two friends that were working in restaurants, and they were like, God, the wine that we're just drinking is shit. Like we know we can make better wine than this. They had a passion. They started making it in the garage, they started all off a list. So it was like you said, people that showed up that cared. The only people that knew about them were like their friends and family and people that were like, wow, these guys are making like some really interesting, Pinot. And this was actually before Pinot like really blew up from Sideways. And then once that happened, like that little marketing phenomenon, Sideways came out and he was all about California Pinot. People like were just searching for like the new, like this is like the new like gold rush in like wine country. And they were making the best stuff. Costa Brown was like the hardest list to get on. It takes 5 years. Like you were waiting for 5 years to buy their shit. Who knows if they had enough or not, but you were still waiting for like 5 years. So when you finally got it, you're like, I'm buying this.
Just to get a bottle, or you could buy like
endless amount? Theirs was like it was not. They do like an allocation process. So they'll give you like, this one's different, but that one, they would give you like maybe 6 to 12 bottles to kind of like try you out as a customer. If you bought 12, they might give you 18 next time. If you bought 6, they might give you 3 next time. And then it would just keep you in your zone. So like they know that you're going to buy 3. And it's kind of like every year they're already selling out. So he sold his winery, I think, 4 times over. Took the proceeds, bought like this estate up in the Russian River, and started 2 of his own plots. Bootlegger's Hill.
So people talk about doubling up, tripling up. This fool quadrupled up.
Yeah. He quintupled up because not only did he do that, he turned around and flipped this winery back to them.
Damn. That's boss.
Killing the game, I know.
Take a sip to this guy right
Seriously,
here, man.
cheers to him.
Cheers to him. But you know what he sold for? Because he really wanted to keep the passion about his winemaking. And he was like, well, these guys are taking a more corporate approach to it. Like they're really trying to like push distribution. I want to be about making the wine. And so that's what he's on a search for, a quest to making the world's greatest wine.
Damn.
So
that's dope.
And he's rich as fuck, though,
too. Well,
easy to do that, right?
Speaking of rich and successful, Thomas over here is quite the mogul, if I say so myself. Quite the successful man. I know you don't like to talk about yourself, but you're going to have to.
All right, I got you. Yeah. No, I mean, it's fine. There's you know what? I think in society, there's always someone that you look up to success-wise. There's always someone that I don't ever look down on anyone. I'll actually look to people and say, hey, like, how could I help lift this person up? Because we all came from like a different thing. I mean, there are a few people that just were born with everything, but most of us in humanity, 7 billion people, we all got to like struggle and strive for like what we're trying to get after, our hopes and dreams. So wherever you are in that thing, there's always someone that's right there ready, and there's someone that's way down here you got to pull up, and there's someone you're reaching to. So that's why I always try to keep it in
I like that mentality.
Yeah, that's dope.
Well, I mean, you go out to Monaco. So I'm out here. This is actually a funny story. So I'm here for my 40th birthday. Honestly, I think I thought I was kind of balling, right? I was like, I'm going to go out to the south of France. I'm going to get me a yacht. We're going to go out, Saint-Tropez, right? So I'm doing it, right? So I get this yacht. Go ahead and rent this. It cost me 10 G's for the day, right? I pull up. I mean, this is like racks, right? So I got my family out there, my cousins. We're like mobbing out, like 3-decker yacht. I'm like just thinking I'm doing it, right? Guess what pulls up next to me? A 5-story yacht. 2 helicopters, like 8 times as big as mine.
Oh no!
Like people out on this thing doing like a gym class, like they're literally doing like a training class. They got TRXs and like,
oh my gosh,
like things. I'm like, what is going on here? And at that moment, I was like, I just need to chill. I'm not a baller.
Damn.
So it was beautiful, right? South of France.
Beautiful.
Had
man.
a great time.
I'm going back this summer.
Dope.
I mean, so. Looking forward to it.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's super
yacht.
dope.
I want to be on a yacht. I was just in Miami, and I'm in my Uber coming across a little bridge to take you to South Beach. I'm like, fuck, look at all these yachts. And they're like 2-story yachts. So this
Yeah.
one was on a 3-story yacht. And then he saw a 5-story yacht. I'm like,
no 5-story. It's like a cruise ship, bro.
This shit
5
gets
stories.
crazy.
It's nuts.
Yeah, I mean, there's levels. Like, you know, there's
Literally.
everyone that's doing other things, and you just got to remember, like, to keep it humble, like, be about, like, what your life is each day.
Yeah.
And keep pushing for success, but not only, like, monetary success, but, like, actually being fulfilled. So,
Yeah,
you know,
happiness.
happiness.
Yeah.
That's the hardest thing, though. Like, you think that when you get what you want, you're going to be happy. And then you realize that actually what you were trying to get to made you happy. Like, trying to be better makes you happy. Like, that's where I was like, man, I got to find something to grind after. Like, 'cause I want to get better, because that passion and that fuel, the energy of, like, trying to succeed is what really makes me the happiest.
Yeah.
You know?
okay. So you said we were talking about earlier before we started recording that you were grinding for about 7 years before your business took off.
Yeah. So
What do you think separated, it moving from it when it was slow a little bit?
I mean, I would say, like, the number one thing is staying power. So, like, if you're in a market and you're trying to, like, let's say Travis is, trying to get his company up and going, and let's say there's like 100 people that are all saying at the same time. Well, after a while, as you build your brand and you keep your podcast going, or you keep, like, making your music, people are going to notice that, hey, this guy hasn't stopped. It's like, it's worth, because you're going to get better and better as you stay. And then the other people will just drop off. Like, the people that had their hopes and dreams or whatever, they're going to be like, oh man, I'm tired of doing this podcast. And all of a sudden, like 10 years later, you're like, yeah, I got this, and I've been building on my audience, and, like, every day I'm getting another person. And it was the same thing for me. I was like, every day I had, like, a list of things that I was, like, trying to accomplish, or if it was goals for the year, and I would just try to, like, go after it. And then after a while, like, I realized I was looking around, I was like, oh, that company's gone, this company's gone. We went through a big recession, and I was still there. So I figured out ways to, like, stay alive. And then when the market started to correct, I was just ready. We had set everything up for, like, hey, when this economy starts cranking up again, like, we're gonna be ready to get it. And, like, that was actually why 2012, from 2005 to 2012, it was build. And then 2012, like, you're just like, all right, I'm ready to go. And then from that moment on to, like, right now, like, the next 7 years, I mean, it's just been, blessings. So.
Damn. What worthwhile blessings, though, hard earned, right?
Hell yeah.
That's the only way to appreciate them, is, like, when you really know the journey that it took to get there. And, like, that's why I love reading books about people that have persevered through so many things, and, like, when they finally, like, reach, like, this whatever it is, like, it's like climbing this mountain, or, like, doing this race, or whatever. It's just a very, like, invigorating thing to, like, hear people's passion. So
that's like that book, The Alchemist. If you've read that, have you read that?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say you must be your favorite book.
I try to get a funny story. Like me, I'm like Mr. Dad over here. Like my daughter is like 4 years old, and, like, most parents are, like, over here, like, reading, like, little bedtime stories. I was like, honey, we're gonna read The Alchemist. I had to give it back to her when she was 12, and she did read it then. But
Okay, I'm laughing like I know what the fuck The Alchemist is.
what,
the
bro?
fuck
You
is
know what The Alchemist is? Oh
It's
man,
one
I'm
of my favorite
embarrassed.
books.
Don't tell nobody.
It's cool, man. It's inspirational. It's
we
kind
got
of what
it.
he was talking about, how it's like someone goes through, like,
The journey.
the journey, and, like,
Yes.
a crazy journey, and gets to the end. I want to spoil it, but
yes.
yeah,
For sure.
it's a
Okay.
journey.
And
Alchemist.
you know what
Write that
alchemy
down.
is, right? It's the science of turning, a normal metal into gold.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So,
Interesting.
yeah.
So
So
turning nothing into something.
turn nothing into something. Exactly.
The hero story.
But it's a great book. Great
It's
book.
dope.
Alchemist.
It's inspiring. I finished it. I picked it up and I finished it at night. I couldn't stop.
Right. It's actually, that's what's so cool about that
Yeah.
book, is you can actually really get through it. And that's
Yeah.
why when I first read it, I mean, I have high expectations for my daughter. I first read it when I was like 20. Like, yeah, you're 4. You're going to read this shit. I'm like, you're going to be a genius.
She is smart though.
She is smart, though. I mean,
she's
so
impressive,
maybe
man.
some
She's
of that
smart.
stuff that I, like, dropped in her head, like, did
Yeah.
kind of pay off. I used to sit down and, like, when she was 5 years old, because, like, I feel like the key to being successful in business is having good sales and people skills. So I used to make her cold call people.
Damn,
Most people would be like, hey, trying to get a little donation for, like, their school thing. I was like, no, you're going to call people out of my phone book that you don't know. She had a sales script. She's like, hey, you don't really know me. I'm Mariana Hall, and I'm really interested, man. If you would maybe pledge for my walkathon.
That's the most baller shit I've ever heard, dude.
But I mean, imagine freaking 5-year-old calls you and
Oh,
it's
you'd
like,
be like, oh, okay, what? What are you selling?
And the funniest
You know
shit
what I
out
mean?
of that whole story was like, so she actually racked up. I think she had like $200 at like 5 or 6 years old.
Damn.
And then I had this one uncle, and he's like, he pledged her $10, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, now you got to collect your money. And so she calls him up. He goes, checks in the mail, like literally 2 weeks. And she like finally calls him up, and she's like, where is the money? You have told me. And I was like, honey, you just learned about bad debt. She still remembers that. She's like, I hate bad debt.
That's hella funny, man.
And accounts receivable are like the worst thing, right?
Yeah.
You do all the work, you create this value, and you
Yeah.
send out an invoice to someone, and then you're sitting around like,
Where's
why
the
can't
fucking
they
money?
fucking pay me?
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
Yeah, man.
Dude, I think that like, you know what? One thing I learned is like when I've now like my business is up and running, I pay people like the day after. Like I'm
Immediately.
like, you know why? And they appreciate that. You know how much good service you get when you're like, hey, they people all they pay their bill, they do it fast. Like, you know, I mean, if you have a complaint, obviously, but
Yeah.
I mean, I hate when people like will try to jam you for like 60 days, like using you as the bank. Like, no,
Yeah.
that's my food.
Exactly. Like, what do you think this is?
What do you think this is? Like,
Yeah.
I hate that shit.
Yeah, frustrating to say the least.
man.
Well, you got your muscle milk cup.
Yeah,
You-
pass me some more of that stuff.
Yeah.
That Jesus juice, man.
Jesus juice.
I'm gonna switch it up and talk about airplanes, man. I was coming back
airplanes.
from Miami and we landed in San Francisco,
There you go.
and these kids grab their bags and run to the fucking front.
Wait. Actually, they're in the back, and like the plane dropped, and there was like, boom, we're out.
Boom.
Hell no.
Right, so I'm looking around.
Hell no.
This dude's looking at me. Said, "You fly a lot. I don't
I
fly a lot."
Dude,
I'm
that
going
is
to,
like cardinal sin number one. Like
And
you
everyone's
sit your
like
ass in the
looking
back
at
of the
him.
plane, be like, I hate this shit, but you
Yeah. You wait.
you wait.
And they ran all the way to the front, and people, not all the way, but like damn near halfway, and people are looking at me like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I'm wondering why everyone's looking at them, because now I'm freaking out. Like, is this a
Yeah.
fucking terrorist thing? Like, I don't fly a lot. What the fuck's
Yeah.
going on? And they're like, "No, like, dumbasses fucking run to the front once the plane lands so they can get out first."
Dude, I was
huh.
freaking out.
Yeah,
I'm
just,
like, I saw y'all. Hey, what's going on? Hey, get them. What
mean,
they
yes,
doing? Yeah.
I mean, people will get hot on a plane too. Like you heard about like people like getting in fights, like
Yeah.
people doing crazy shit. Like I'm surprised someone didn't just grab them and be like, no. Because people have been on a plane for like 5 hours and everyone wants to get off. It's
Yeah.
like the worst cutting in line you could do.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's funny
I
because
didn't think about that.
Yeah, it's like cutting in line.
my girlfriend's parents are going to Costa Rica in June, and they were booking flights and stuff. I was like, oh, there's a really cheap flight through Spirit. And then the mom was like, no, we're not flying through Spirit. We're not. And I was like, what's really wrong with Spirit? And I think you saw it. It was on Instagram
Yes.
today. There was a thing on a Spirit flight where some lady got pissed and started twerking at the rest of the
Oh.
passengers and was going crazy.
She got
I was like,
kicked off the
okay.
plane, too.
Yeah, I was
That
like,
was-
all right, no
My
Spirit.
boy will fly Spirit, and he's got a tough resolve because like a Southwest seat is like 31 inches, right? The Spirit I think is like 27, bro. So you're just like this, like just like I'm like hell no.
Fuck.
But to make
No.
it worse, on the way back, I'm sitting next to these two big chicks.
Oh.
So I already know she doesn't got any room because other chick's big, and then she's big too. And
And you were in the
no.
middle.
I'm on the end, which is
I
nice.
was-
So I can get
yeah,
up and go take
get
a
up
piss
and
and all
go,
that.
yeah.
But everyone
Lots
wants their
of
right
walking
arm,
around.
Yeah.
their right arm rest. She's so.
But she's in the middle. I mean, like that's why I say always a thing for me. I'm like, if I don't ever sit in the middle, but like
Yeah.
if I was, like I try to like actually let that person,
Yeah, you
like just
shrink.
kind of shrink in a little bit because I'm like, well, I feel bad for that person. They're in
Yeah.
the middle, and she's big. I mean, yeah, she could have, whatever. So, but yeah,
Damn, that reminds me, bro. I hate to bring this up because I can't get it off my mind. You guys know me, but I remember I was flying on a plane to Mexico not too long ago, and I was slapping one of Nipsey's tapes, bro. And I remember it was like a point in my life where it just fucking changed me. Cause I had these old school like ludicrous headphones on.
Oh,
Which
shit.
I was a huge fan of Luda back in the day too.
yeah, Luda used to kill that.
But then I was slapping some. I think it was TMC. The Marathon Continues, and I was like sitting there like going to Mexico. I was like, I want to fly the fuck back to the Bay right now and get to work. I don't want to be in Mexico.
Really?
Like,
What year
shit
was this?
2012.
2012. Okay.
2012. Yeah, that was the year I broke my nose too. Somebody headbutted me in the club.
Ooh.
I'm about to crack that story.
Wait,
open
yeah,
right now.
crack that story.
Yeah,
open.
please. What the-
Okay.
were we
okay.
I
friends
always
then?
thought your
Yeah.
nose was kind of fucked up, but I
Because when
I
I
was
look
like,
down,
man,
bro,
you
you
got
can
some-
see. You see that?
Oh, bro.
got some real
Yeah.
Italian
Ooh,
genetics going on
never,
over there.
never got it fixed.
Were you bleeding?
Oh, bruh. The next day, my eyes were all puffy. I was trying to hide it from my mom.
Hey,
I
was
had,
it like
black
dudes
eyes.
like MMA and just like clock you like that, or
Hella uncalled for. So I was dancing with some random chicks, right? These 2 chicks came up to me.
Hella uncalled for. Like, oh yeah, I was dancing with his girl and his sister. Right?
No,
hand on his girl's booty.
It's funny that you say that.
You weren't asking for it.
You weren't asking for it. I wasn't.
Yeah, I wasn't. They came up to me.
Myself. I was in Mexico having a good time.
Oh, you got cracked in Mexico.
Mexico, yeah.
Oh shit!
It wasn't in the Bay. I was in Mexico.
You're out the country.
I was out the country.
Yeah.
Good thing though is if you go to an American hospital or like a doctor, like a nice hospital down in Mexico, you're the only person in there because they're like, they go to like the free clinics. I remember my dad broke his shoulder down there. We were the only patient.
Oh wow. But
you're
yeah,
like,
no.
Anyways, yeah.
I was in Mexico and I was dancing with these 2 girls. Cabo. Party town.
So it's probably American that hate you.
Yeah.
It was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I was dancing and I saw these chicks. I was like, I recognize you from the Bay. And then they're like, oh, wait a second. So we start dancing and stuff. It's 2 of them. They're both dancing with me. I feel like a pimp, you know. I'm in the fucking zone.
You're in Mexico. You doing
exactly.
your thing.
I'm like, hey.
Shots of tequila.
Exactly.
Like,
shit was going. They was playing fucking Daddy Yankee going in, bro. Going in.
White linen, all light linen, looking like John Travolta and shit.
Exactly. Shit's hair slicked back. And then this guy's like mean mugging me. I'm like, who is this dude? And he comes up, starts talking to one of the girls. And it turns out that it's her brother.
See?
Oh shit.
And then he looks at me, he's like, hey, and like does one of these. Hey, I'm like, yeah, what's up? Like, I'm like, who are you? Okay, whatever. Like, I'm not expecting anything. And then he kind of like looks at me, and then he leans back a little bit, and then boom, and just headbutts me out of the blue.
Man, you're lucky, man, because that could be like real serious.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the thing too. It's
Did
like
you black out?
Yeah, like for like 2 seconds, I was standing up, but like 2 seconds, like everything went black, and then I came to, I was confused. I was like, who the fuck headbutts anymore? I was like, I never even seen a headbutt. Who the fuck headbutts? So
I have to bring that one out next time because that's actually not a bad idea.
It's an effective move.
It's an effective move.
Well, yeah, but hey, come here real quick. Bam! And
that's some sucker shit though.
For real though.
I mean, especially like if you were just dancing with them.
Yeah, I wasn't. Nothing was like.
When you have a drunk, they're probably like, he keeps feeling on me. What is this
guy? They was on me.
Might have slipped a little. Like, hey, you want to come back to my room?
When the shit was going crazy, but like after he ran upstairs, and I was like pushing through the crowd, and everyone like saw it happen. So like, oh shit! So I was chasing him down. I was screaming and yelling. I was trying to get at him, but by the time I got upstairs, like these little Mexican security guards came up, grabbed us both. Like, tranquillo, poking me in the side with a baton. Like, tranquillo.
Oh, and then they tried to take you to jail.
They took us to jail.
Oh, you went to jail in Mexico?
I went to jail in Mexico.
Oh, what the fuck, bro?
Yeah. I thought I was done for, bro. I was sitting in there trying to use all the broken Spanish I could. I was like, no, por favor, saying other shit.
So how did you get out? I'm more interested in that than anything.
Oh, so they were asking for money. I was sitting in this room. I remember it so vividly. I was sitting in a room.
That's like my worst fear is to be in jail in a foreign country.
It was terrifying, bro.
I mean, you can't even speak the language, and then they're just like, they could just be like, hey, you're staying down here for a minute.
Yeah. Well, my mom and my brother had no idea where I was either.
Oh, you just left without telling anyone?
Part.
Well, no. So my mom went to a different club. My brother was on the second floor.
Oh, at least they were all there.
Yeah. They were in Mexico with us, but they didn't know where I was.
Shit.
So they probably thought I was out just like drinking, whatever, doing whatever. And like, so I'm in this room with like all these segways on the wall, super tiny room, some little Mexican security guard guy, like a police officer.
You're talking about like segways, like the little people movers.
Yeah, little people movers. It was hella random. But I was like sitting on this metal chair.
And you were still drunk, right?
Yeah.
And nose still bleeding?
Yeah.
All right, man, you got a picture? Where's your mugshot?
They don't take no pictures in Mexico, bro.
They're like, oh yeah, because if they want to execute you.
It's like a drunk tank, right?
Drunk tank. Well, they go pull out a Polaroid or something. They ain't got no Sony cameras in Mexico, bro. Hold on.
Oh, shit. Here you go.
Nah, fuck that. But yeah, no, I remember it. Yeah. Well, they came in and were like asking like dinero, asking for money. Mm-hmm. Like hella like, you're not getting out unless you pay us. I was like, I ain't got shit. Like, take me to the ATM. I had hella nice shoes on at the time. I was like, you zapatos? You want my zapatos?
Zapatos.
Yeah. And they're like, no. And then I guess the girl comes and bails both of us out. But I was in there for like 20 minutes.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, only 20 minutes. Are you acting like he was in there for a minute?
It felt like a minute, bro.
Shit.
I thought my life was over. I was like, I ain't gonna
She
see
bailed
my
you out
family
too?
again. Yeah.
Oh, were you guys in the same cell, though?
Yeah.
Did you guys like...
Did you talk to
You
her?
guys were in the same cell?
No. They
He's
were
like, hey.
different.
So,
what the fuck, bro?
Different. Yeah. Bailed both of us out.
So you were in a cell by yourself?
Yeah.
All right, that's good.
Yeah. Fuck. I would have killed that, man. You kidding me?
That's a crazy.
I was drunk. That was when I was way more wild too, and I was drunk. I was out of my mind. I was so mad. I was like walking towards the phone, like, I'm gonna fuck you up, bro. I was like doing one of these. I'm gonna fuck you up. The next day, I had like knuckle imprints on my fucking like bruises on my hand from punching myself. I was pissed.
Did that ruin your whole trip, or you still have fun after?
No, I was good.
Oh, okay.
I met hella people afterwards, smoked some weird Mexican weed and stuff. It was cool. But people were looking at me like I was crazy because my nose was all inflated and shit. my mom was like, "We're not fixing that. You need to learn your lesson."
Yeah,
I was
Cabo's
like,
cool. It's like it has like its American side, but there's definitely like a little like dark like side like right behind those clubs. It's just like,
Especially if the police asking you for money, bro. That's fucking scary.
Well, it was funny the next day too.
Well, they know that's the easiest thing to do. Is be like, hey, this guy wants out of here. Like, oh, I got no money. Like,
give me $5.
We got the one dude down here that don't even have $5.
Well, it was hella funny.
The white boy, but he didn't have no money.
Had no money.
It was hella funny too, because like one of the days right before we left, we were walking around this little plaza, and I saw this police officer riding by on a Segway, and he looks at me and he does a double take and he goes, "What's up?" And they kept going, and I was like, "Hey," and they just kept going.
They probably got so many people in those drunk takes.
Oh yeah, all day,
just
bro.
all day,
all day.
What was the best part of Mexico? I haven't been.
The clubs and the beach.
Clubs and the beach.
Well, the beach bars. I like the bars on the beach where they do all the drinking competitions and stuff. They had a whole thing with like a wet T-shirt contest and like a push-up. I actually did a push-up contest while I was out there.
Did you? Oh yeah, there's like the little beach down there where they have like all the little people doing like wet T-shirt, and then like they'll have guys like running around doing some crazy stuff.
For like a bucket of beer.
For a bucket of beer.
A bucket of beer. Yeah.
Okay.
So I did a push-up
everyone's
contest.
just getting like twisted out there. That is actually a fun spot.
Yeah, it was hella fun. It was a good time.
What about you in Mexico?
I mean, I've been to Mexico like quite a few times. So when I was young, my dad like every year he had like a timeshare at this little place down in Mazatlan, and so like it's just like a small little city down the coast, and like that's probably like one of my greatest memories as a kid, like just going down there as a family for like 2 weeks, just chilling, like be on the beach. My dad would like just be sitting there just drinking Pacificos, and it's funny because I look back and he's my age now, and so now I'm like looking at him like, oh, this was probably like his just like chill time to be down there, and it's funny because like when you look at your parents, you always look at them as being like old, but you don't realize that they were like just kind of still pretty young, like still had a lot of energy, still ready to do shit. You're probably like, my dad's hella old, you know? Yeah. But he was over here like, God, I just want to get rid of my son right now. I'm trying to go out to the club.
Yeah, exactly.
And he took us back when we were 18, me and my best friend. He took us back down there. And my dad was just going wild, man. We went to like Senior Frogs, like basically the same thing. My dad's drink on the tables, drinking shots with all the waitresses. He just comes back and just lit. And my boy that night, he actually got into a fight in the club down there.
No way.
Yeah.
Notorious. Gotta watch out out there.
Yeah. I mean,
they coming.
They're not playing around out there.
For real.
Yeah.
Where else have you traveled to?
I've been random places in the United States. The only place out of country is Mexico and Thailand.
That's dope. I'm actually going to Mexico in a little bit.
Yeah?
Yeah, about 2 months. I'm actually going out to Mexico City and delivering 40,000 worth of wheelchairs.
Whoa.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah,
okay.
on some charity stuff.
Damn,
so.
that's dope.
Cool, man.
Yeah, it's like the Wheelchair Foundation out of Danville. So
damn.
Yeah, I'm gonna see what's up because like you fly to Mexico City and you have to go out like to an hour and a half, like this little city called Tulancingo. I don't know. See if I get back. I don't want to end up in jail down there.
You go come back stuffed with drugs.
They got El Chapo. You ain't got to worry about him.
That's true.
I'm gonna leave the rollie at home.
Yeah, for real. You don't want to be flashy out there.
Timex.
For real. That's for sure.
Yeah,
that's for sure. You've been all over the place though. What's the craziest place you've traveled to?
Honestly, like you probably been more crazy place when you went to Thailand, but
it was nuts.
I mean that's nuts.
That's where I'm going.
You going?
In the May.
Bangkok?
I don't want to say shit, but that's where I'm going.
You got it. I mean,
I was going to pop up like, hey, I'm in Thailand.
I don't think I'm allowed to go to Thailand anymore.
Uh-oh.
Unless, I mean, when you guys want to get married and have a bachelor party.
This fool was pressuring me. He was like, you need to marry your girlfriend. I'm trying to have a bachelor party.
In Brazil. Remember, I was like, I'm trying to have a bachelor party in Brazil. Let's go.
Let's do it. I'm down. I'm going.
Be dope.
I'm inviting myself.
You.
Yeah,
we
so
could do a
my
podcast.
best friend from college lives down there, so I've always wanted to go down there and see him. I mean, Thailand actually, like, honestly, I don't know if that's like as high on my list, but yeah, Brazil. Like, I've always just wanted to get down to South America and like check that out.
That'd be sick.
I've mostly traveled, like, honestly, like just mostly to the United States. I've been like almost every state.
Damn.
Just work, just trying to grind. Like back in the day when I was grinding, just.
What's the worst state in the country? It's got to be like Idaho,
don't hate me,
South Dakota.
I'm gonna have to say Georgia.
Georgia?
Oh no.
Georgia?
Man, they are the most racist, slowest, annoying people I've ever dealt with, and they just kind of. If you're from California, they almost have like a little look they give to each other. Like when you come up, they're like, "We gonna fuck this boy from California over." hey, how you doing, Tom? Yeah, oh yeah, we gonna do that deal with you. Yeah, or whatever. I probably got the wrong accent, but then like later on, like 2 weeks later, you come up like, "Hey, what's going on?" "Oh yeah, we're gonna be right back to you." And it's like, man, I'll never forget that. And there's like so many like pieces of like the old school, like, I mean, I've been to like Alabama, Mississippi, definitely like very like
rural southern.
Yeah. And I didn't like that. I didn't like that. I mean, it doesn't feel right, frozen in time. But like Georgia, like they try to be more cosmopolitan, but it's still like undercurrent of just like that old like. And I don't like that. I mean, it's almost like they're fronting. You know, they're like, oh yeah, you know, Atlanta, you know, whatever. But like, man, it's and it's just big ass sprawl. It's a dirty city.
Yeah.
Nothing really cool. I mean, I mean, I hate to hate on Georgia, but of all the places I went to, that's the place I didn't like the least.
Well, there's
I mean,
nothing worse than bad business, too. Like, if someone's conducting, like, business like that'd be like, yeah, fuck you, man.
Super
like,
off-putting.
Yeah, like New York. I love going to New York. I will never deal with business people from New York because they're always trying to fuck you over. Like, because they like are all about, like, things on the margin where I'm kind of, like, more like a big picture person. So I'm like, look, hey, if we want to put this together, like, let's make it work for both of us. They're like, I'm going to fuck you over a nickel.
Damn. They just want to win.
They just want to win. Yeah, they're so competitive over there, and I feel like there's so much more competition amongst each other that they're just like born and bred, like maybe like having like, you know, 15, 20 million people like living like rats next to each other trying to get after it, like changes like your perspective on like how to be an entrepreneur and like how to be, you know, get after business. But yeah, they're just grimy. Like they will, like you'll be doing like, I mean, you know, multi-million-dollar deal, $50 million deal, and they'll be coming back at the end and be like, hey, can I get this $10 off? And I'm like, sure.
What the what difference is that going to make?
Sure, yeah. I'm like, you already bought my building for $50 that I bought for $30. You can have $10.
Here you go.
Here you go. I mean, my partner and I will be laughing all the time, like, they really just don't get it. Like, it's really like, why do you care about that $10? You know?
Yeah.
And I'm not even lying. It literally is $10.
Damn.
I mean, it's just stupid.
That's weird.
Tax percentage? I don't know.
For real.
I think it's right though. They just want to win.
Yeah.
They just want to win.
Huh. Damn,
New upcoming city though is Idaho. Funny you mentioned that. Boise, Idaho.
Really?
I just bought a property up there. It's
No way.
it's kind of popping. Like people are moving out of California, Denver, Seattle, trying to get in there. They got a cool downtown, like, you know, a good college. I mean, it's.
I heard it's really pretty, actually, though.
It's really nice. I mean, it's not like for everybody, but I went up there. I was kind of surprised. They had like a nice downtown, you know, just chilling. So
I heard Texas is popping up. I know a lot of my friends are moving to Texas too.
Texas, yeah.
All my exes live in Texas.
All my exes live in
A little bit of George Strait.
Oh, we got George Strait. We got a little Nas X. You know, we got Don't Break My Heart, My Achy Breaky Heart. I just don't think they'll understand.
That shit is classic. You need to remix that.
Billy Ray, yeah.
We're talking about bachelor parties and shit, right?
Uh-huh.
Guy that owns Amazon. I'm blanking right now.
Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
Can you believe what he's giving his wife or his ex-wife?
Oh,
I didn't see. What happened?
Oh, he's getting divorced. I mean, it's costing him a half a ticket. A big ticket.
Bro.
Like 50
She's probably
bill.
running.
50 bill.
50
Oh my
billion.
I think it's something like that. Like,
I mean, you meet some girl and you're kind of like, 50 billion?
Yeah. It changes a lot of things.
she's like the third richest woman in the world, now.
Oh my
Person.
God,
Like,
for
person.
real. It's got to be person.
Yeah.
That's 50 billion. That's a lot.
Shit. Dude.
Hey, you know you're balling when you can get a divorce and you guys can split in half and you're both still winning.
Yeah,
Right?
for
Yeah,
real.
it's like, he probably not. Well, I'm sure he's thinking about it.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah. But she's not thinking about it. She's like, it's over.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She's gonna be in Vegas.
She's going to be in
Yeah,
Vegas.
buying everything.
I mean, if you actually read some of this stuff, it was kind of crazy. I mean, they were probably like already like past their time or whatever. But I mean, he was like booking a private, his company private jet and just out in broad space, just like him and his girl, like just like flying somewhere. Like,
Damn.
You're not going to get caught, dude. Like you're in a private jet. Like
Oh, he was cheating on her.
he was cheating on his wife.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he like met some like girl and like they were flying around in the company jet, just the two of them to like some private locales. I mean, I'm just like, he was not trying to not get caught.
Oh man.
Damn. Hey.
Yeah.
Hey,
50 billion. I just like that number scared me when I saw it. I was like,
Yeah, that's a lot.
I'm never getting married.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you know,
Gotta get the right
Take
one.
your time, gentlemen. Take your time.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like, you know, marriage is more than just like, hey, you're in a relationship and you like you love somebody,
Yeah.
you know, like where I'm really attracted to this person. I mean, that's like a lifelong commitment of like you really got to think of like you're building things together, you're like raising kids together. I mean, it's a lot. I mean, it's so much more that goes into it than just like, hey, I like this girl.
Yeah.
She's cool to kick it with, you know?
Yeah.
Did you have like a moment with your girl or you like or your wife, sorry, where you knew it was like, damn, you know, this is who I want to be with forever?
You know what it was? It was like I was a little older than her, and I always just loved how grounded she was, and I realized that I wasn't at the time. Like I was kind of like more like bing, 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 you know. And I realized I'm like the only way that I will ever like become anything is if I'm focused, and the only way that I could get focused is to be around somebody that's kind of grounded. Because if she was kind of like, hey, whatever, let's go do this, let's go do that, I would probably always be like, let's go do this, let's go do that, you know. And so I kind of felt like, and that's what I think, like having a counterbalance in the relationship is an important thing. So.
Well, I feel like that's good for the development of your kids too, is because like if you were both just kind of like, let's do this, kids would be not well rounded. You know what I mean? So it's like a good.
It's
good
funny.
Mixture.
I mean, that's like a big headbutt thing. Like when you know, I'm more like, yeah, you guys could do whatever you want. You guys can't do anything. And I'm like, oh man, you know, they're gonna go do everything behind our back. You know, and they're like, whoa, they're gonna do everything right in front of us.
Yeah. Well, that's like his son Mondo came through to the studio.
Oh my god!
It was going off on the track, bro.
Oh, he was rapping?
He was going off, just like cussing and a whole bunch of things.
It was almost like therapy for him. But then I was like, well, hopefully he does that, and then like the next time he comes in, he realizes I already did that.
Yeah.
So like, okay, well, let's do something different. Just kind of get him out of his head. So.
Yeah, well, especially with that much energy too, it's like he probably going to blow up all over the place, and the next time a little bit more narrow, next time a little, and then it's going to keep working down. Next time he's going to come and spit bars.
He's been drawing a lot.
I saw that.
Yeah, you saw that one poster, which is funny. But then I was like, hey, Mondo, that's actually a pretty good drawing. You just like picked that up. I was like, you should draw just a little bit more, just like creative. So like today he like made me like 5 drawings. And like actually like pretty like good structure to it, like actually a thought process.
Hell yeah!
It's like it's kind of cool. Like he's just progressing on that. So
I think that's dope to like influence and support creativeness.
Yeah,
I feel like in today's society, especially, everyone's like, stop being creative.
You need to learn a language.
Yeah, you need to go in there and do this.
You need to go do math and science. You need to be successful. And I'm like, well, there's different ways of measuring success. It's like
definitely
like look at like all the people that have created things. They're like a lot of our like idols. Like I mean, and we're in here creating something. This doesn't have anything to do with like
arithmetic
or science. It's like it's an art. You know, to like entertain and create. And I think our society places a lot of value on the end product, but they don't place a lot of value on the front end of like how do you develop these artists? You know, how do you like give people the freedom to like be creative and express yourself. In school, I mean, they have like the little art class, but like everyone laughs like, oh, the art teacher, it's like we're like the art teacher should be celebrated. You know?
Hell yeah. They have the best job, right?
They have the best job, right? Oh my God. Like art and music teacher, I'm like, hey, like I was like, play an instrument, and my kids are like, oh, like they'll kind of like pick some instrument and they don't really get into it, but I'm like, watch, when you're older, you will so have wished you would have played an instrument.
Yeah.
Like,
Take time.
I mean, Travis, I think you told me you like self-train yourself, which is dope. Like I tried to learn how to play the guitar a little bit, but it's hard to pick it up when you're like 30. Like I'll pick up a guitar and like learn. You can, but it's so much different. Like my brother was playing when he was like 9, 10, and like right now he could just like light it up.
Yeah.
I couldn't read the notes, so I knew the tune of the music. I would just blow when I knew we were playing music. I was playing clarinet.
Well, that's funny. I remember you always had to have the flute. I remember that. You got a little flute in the box. And
clarinet, man.
Yeah,
clarinet. Where's that picture? Oh, man, I'll never forget. So I had my boy, right, and we used to always play hoops together, and I was like 15 or something. He was like a little younger. We didn't know at the time. He always told us he was the same age as us. And we would be down at the park, and like, he was like just trying to be a little rough, just like really like, just like trying to ball out. And we didn't know he was like only 12. So he was like trying to be tougher in front of us. And like one day he invited us over to his house for his birthday party. And we're like up and talking to his mom. And I walk in the house and there's a little picture with him with his little violin on. And I'm like, I was like, hey, when was that picture taken? They're like, oh, that's last year. I was like, how old is he? And she's like, he's turning 12. He was like hanging around a bunch of like 16-year-olds.
Damn.
Trying to be tough. So after that, we
beat him up
in the twist. Dismissed.
Damn.
Let's see. Uber drivers, bro.
Oh no.
Why
they always got to talk so much?
Why they got to sing?
Oh, sing? I never heard of singing.
But before we get into that part, I'm in an Uber coming back from the city, going to my house in San Leandro. My apartment, not house. Get that right. And
it's an apartment home.
I'm in an Uber pool, right? So it's one other motherfucker. So they drop him off in Treasure Island.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're getting back on the freeway, and I'm looking like, I think we're going the wrong way.
Oh, he's gonna pick up another pool over there.
We get on the bridge, and the cars are going the opposite direction.
Oh,
on the Golden Gate Bridge, bro. Not Golden Gate, the Bay Bridge. Bay Bridge.
Dude, I would flip out.
Oh my! I was so fucking scared. I was like, let me get my phone
That
out.
dude did not get 5 stars.
This is my thing. So he's reversing and shit, and there's cars coming. And he's reversing. I'm like, this is so scary. I pull out my phone, try to get it on like video and shit. Yeah. But I was like super freaked out. I was like, I still gave him 5 stars though.
What?
I don't know, dude.
What? Oh, he didn't want to fuck his rating.
For some reason, bro, I always feel like I'm not going to, like, what does it do for me to give someone a bad rating?
Well, he almost killed you. He could kill somebody else,
but he did it.
It seems like societal.
Yeah, he did it.
You gotta give him 3 stars.
Yeah,
you gotta be like,
man.
hey, dude almost killed me, but he was a really good singer.
For real, that's like if you did get in a car crash, and as you're dying, you're like, I'm gonna give him 3 because at least he had AC.
Yeah,
he tried to save me.
He tried to save me.
Yeah, but I was super freaked out, dude. He starts reversing and shit. He's like, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. He starts apologizing. I'm like,
I've been in some weird ass Ubers, but never anything like that. I mean, I had this one dude, he got lost like 5 times. I'm like, all right, I got to be at this apartment. I had to go into this apartment building for a meeting. And I'm like, and he's asking me how to go there. And I'm like, well, dude, you have the thing right there. Like, why don't you just look at that? And he's looking at it, and he drives. He goes, oh, I did it again. And I'm like, you know what? You're getting 4 stars.
knock him down a notch.
Knocked him down a notch. I still tipped him though.
See, I'll give you 5 stars and I don't tip.
See, I always, even if I gave someone 3 stars.
I ain't going with them.
Okay, but in Phoenix, I didn't realize the Uber drivers, they don't like make anything, bro. He was like, the other guy was showing me, he did a ride for me for like 30 minutes from like one spot to another, and it was like $15.
Damn.
Oh,
yeah,
damn.
and he's like,
That's
so I felt bad. So he's like, we live off our tips. Crazy is though, I think the dude came from some little town in Pennsylvania, and they manufactured something there, and then they shuttered that company. So basically the whole town just had to leave. Like they were like, oh, we all got to leave. And he's like, well, I came to Arizona. And he's like, well, actually making, this is like twice as much as I was making at the diner, back at home. So, but yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like when you look at like little pockets of our economy, there's this book, Hillbilly Elegy, that I read that actually really breaks down like the poverty at some of like the interior of our country. And then that's like one of the big reasons why Donald Trump got elected is because they blame the deterioration of our manufacturing base, on like immigrants coming in and like, and the coastal cities, like, well, we changed our country from making things to like exporting things. And like, now we export our talent, we export like all of our IP and all this stuff. And so it's an interesting book, but
Hillbilly what?
Hillbilly Elegy.
Elegy.
It's like, it breaks down this guy who actually grew up in the Appalachian Mountains around, and his whole family lived off of welfare, and they were like on drugs and all this stuff. And he actually got out of there because he was pretty smart, and ended up going to law school, and then like wrote a book about it. But they tie that book and like what he wrote to why Donald Trump, like one of the feeling of those people is what propelled like Donald Trump to get elected, because he really tapped into a bunch of the country that people didn't even really think about. We here in California, we don't really think about like, the guys that live in West Virginia, that's my countrymen. Like there's nothing that unites us as a country anymore. It's like we fight about football teams. We fight about everything. Who's got the best music? Who's got the best food? Like we talked about earlier, what's the best state? Like I don't feel like I'm from, a lot of times from the United States, I feel like I'm from Cali. Yeah. Like when I go to New York, I'm like that's another country to me.
Yeah.
Well, I would even say fuck New York. Like actually, I'll bomb on them.
Turn it to Tupac. Hit him up.
You watching right now? Hit him up. West Coast. Nah, but it's crazy though. Like, and it's actually almost like more regional, because I'll go to like Portland or Seattle, and I'll be like, oh, these are my people. Yeah. Then like you go to Georgia, I'm like I said, who are these people?
It's like a culture shock.
It's like a culture shock, and like in one country to have that like big of a change in like how people act, how they eat, like it's kind of weird. Like you go to, I drove all the way through France or whatever, and the people in Paris are a little different than the people in like south of France, but they're pretty much the same. They still are like, we're French, like we are French, they're about their country, but in here we're not about it.
No, it's very separate. That's true though, because it is like its own ecosystem everywhere you go. Even
that's
through
true, because a
California.
lot of people don't even fuck with the flag, bro.
Yeah,
right.
That's true.
And that's the truth. Damn, I didn't think about that. Sorry to cut you off, bro.
No, that's all good.
I mean, that's the same thing, bro.
Damn.
That's nuts. The Civil War's coming up, man. Better watch out.
Oh shit, we ain't got Nipsey to lead us, man.
Well, and that's the thing too. Like when you were saying separateness, bro. Like I don't know. You probably guys saw it too, but like the fact that all these major gangs. Here, pour me some more of that for Nip.
For Nip.
Neighborhood Nip. I got you.
But the major gang leaders all met up and said, "Hey, we need a ceasefire," and then they marched to Crenshaw and Slauson in front of Nipsey's store, and like all just got together. So like all like this gang violence that Nipsey was trying to separate through his death, he finally like ended it.
Sometimes people have to die to make change.
You know what's funny? Yeah, that's actually was going to be like a major question for you is, would you, if in your own death you could achieve all your goals, would you die? Shit. You never get to see your goals achieved, but the lasting legacy, I mean, it's a big question.
I think so, honestly. Because like that's why people are calling Nip Jesus, because through Jesus's death, he sparked all this upbringing and this positivity, and that's exactly what Nip did. It's like through his death, he made
he
like
didn't
a
choose
million
to die,
other.
though.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, he didn't like take his. I mean, now there are some like things out there. They're saying like he was putting himself in harm's way by, you know, all the holistic doctor stuff. I mean, I don't know how much.
Nah,
of that's
that
true
information was so publicly available. The government didn't kill him for that.
Right,
shit.
I don't think so either. I mean, but the thing that is kind of weird though, like reading into that, like, I mean, they say that Nip actually shook the dude's hand like minutes before, like. And like so,
yeah, I read that too. No, not Dr. Sebi. The guy that actually killed him,
Eric
Holder.
Yeah, Eric
like
Holder.
came up, shook his hand. Like his brother wrote some story for LA Times, and supposedly it said like the eyewitness was like, yeah, dude came in, shook hands, left to get some food, and then just came back with like and was just heated.
Damn.
I saw the same thing. Yeah, I saw.
And then I was kind of like, man, like my boys were like kind of come up with some like maybe it wasn't even like the government, maybe it was like the LA police wants gang violence. I mean, who knows? Like, I mean,
well, and that's the thing.
And they
too.
said that dude disappeared for like a couple years, like he was gone. And like my boy's like, he's got a real active mind. He goes, he's been inside of a government training facility, and Nipsey said a word that activated him to become a killer.
Wow.
And I was like,
I don't believe none of this conspiracy theory shit either, but. You never know, dude. The government could put a chip in some other fucker's head and make him do some weird shit.
They make a good point. Like, if someone wants someone dead, you could find someone else that wants him dead, too.
Yeah, facts.
Enough. And they'd be like, hey, whatever, now we're going to get you off of manslaughter. I mean, how did dude hire the attorney from the OJ case?
He did it. Pro bono.
Pro bono for sure.
Oh, no, he said
wanted
privately
publicity.
retained.
Huh.
It says privately retained. That was actually like a major thing. As soon as I saw that, I was like, man, this...
Retained.
I mean, where's dude getting the money to hire like one of the most prolific? And I thought dude likes to. I mean, wasn't he a prosecutor? Like he's like supposed to. Now he's like, well, I wasn't too good at that. So
well, I was thinking, I mean, think about it, dude. His face was plastered. As soon as he took the case, he was like, oh, look who's fucking representing Eric Holder.
Exactly.
Right. You know, so.
I mean, I don't know. There's
tension.
You know, I'm actually kind of interested to see how that all plays out.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like,
he pled not guilty.
Well, if he
pled not guilty.
if Eric Holder goes free, then I'm gonna get on some conspiracy shit. But
honestly, if he doesn't even go to
possible.
jail for like first degree, like you know, if he goes on, if he gets some sort of manslaughter charge, like they try to make it sound like Nip did something.
Nah.
Like I'm just saying. I mean, dude.
I know what you mean, but that's the thing though. Is like,
did they recover the weapon?
I don't know.
And who's going to snitch? That was cool, Nipsey though. That's what I'm saying.
That's the thing, bro. Everybody loved Nip. They're not gonna snitch. They got like 6 eyewitnesses and 2 security cameras, bro. They didn't release the Marathon store security camera, but
right, because it's right
guaranteed
there.
they're using it.
Oh, guaranteed, yeah, because that's probably too graphic.
So they have 6 witnesses other than Nipsey's homies?
Yeah, bro. There was like 2 people who got shot by him, and then there was like 3 chicks who ran away from the scene freaking out.
I mean, honestly, the people that know the most are the other 2 people that were standing there got shot next to him. They didn't die. They saw it exactly.
Exactly. They know
the
exactly.
fucked up part is they watched him get executed.
Right, because he got executed.
Yeah, that was...
Dude, on that tape is crazy. He ran away, and he was like, oh, wait. That's what kind of made me think, like, why did he come back? Like, it's almost like someone paid him.
Yeah.
Like, because it's like, make sure it's done.
Yeah.
But he kicked him in the head too, so it was on some sucker shit.
But he knew he was on camera.
The male ego is one of the most fragile things out there, dude.
I agree.
And if his girl, because his girl was the getaway driver, right? Mm-hmm. So imagine he gets called a snitch, right? That's already a big hit to his ego. Imagine if his girl was next to him when he got called a snitch. Then he's like, damn, like I'm a bitch. So then he had this like he had this edge, because if you're paid to kill someone,
I just hate it to be like on some like basic hood shit, you know.
But that's the thing though.
Man, that's just.
It is some basic hood shit, and that's what Nipsey was trying to stop. Is just stupid, nonsensical violence.
Nonsensical violence.
People ask me, right? You moved from Oakland to Pleasanton. Why didn't you go to Oakland more often?
Yeah.
I mean, have you been to Pleasanton? All my friends had fucking mini mansions.
Yeah, for
with
real.
a fucking refrigerator in their garage full of fucking shit.
Yeah,
and I live in Oakland. It was like
Oakland is way safer
than what it used to be.
Than
for
like
sure.
when I was growing up, like late
for
'80s,
sure.
early '90s. Like, I mean that city out there. I mean that was a war zone. It's not as bad as it used to be, but still, yeah, it's just like. You know, your natural, like, as a human is, like, you want to be safe. And, I mean, it's, like, he was trying to keep it real, though. I mean, he was, like, he didn't want to, like, you know, be called, like, whatever for...
Sell out and all that type of shit.
That stuff. Yeah. But it's, like, at the end of the day, like, he could have done so much more being alive. But that's why I bring back the question. Now, because even though he was Grammy nominated, I would say that his overall vision and what he was trying to do is now much more prevalent in the news.
It's way more impactful.
And globally, it's way more impactful because... I mean, like, you put me onto him, right? Mm-hmm. And actually, it was interesting. Before you even put me onto him, I had read about him in that Vector 90 thing.
About the vertical integration.
Vector 90 was like this thing he was trying to do, the opportunity zone, where he was buying up in impoverished neighborhoods, and he was, like, rebuilding the communities through this very interesting tax credit that he was... I was like, man, this dude's a genius. Like, he's like... And, like, that I was more... Then I started reading about his vertical integration and all this stuff. I was like, man, this dude's, like...
ahead of the game,
businessman, really ahead of the game, and so like
mogul.
I more respected him as a businessman and as like really trying to like be forward thinking like on that level than like even his music.
Well,
like
that's the thing too. It's like people like someone hit me up the other day said like, "Hey, bro, I'm sorry to hear about your favorite artist."
Right.
And I almost took that as disrespect. I'm like, bro, it's way bigger than music. And like you can listen to his music, but it leads you to look up his business and his philosophy and the way he lived his life and the way that he hold himself. Like he would never be the type of person to be like, hey, fuck you, bro, unless you really fucking deserved it. You know what I mean? He was like so respectful.
That's
with his
why I don't
character
see like that. I mean, there had to be maybe something else from the past there or something. You know? That's the only thing I could think of. I mean,
because I believe in energy and karma.
Yep.
You know, I know Nipsey was a great dude.
He used to be a gangbanger, though.
Definitely didn't deserve what happened to him. But you never know what he did to other people.
In the past,
You know what I mean? That stuff comes back around. And like I'm not saying he deserved anything like that to happen. He's really, really good dude. But
well, I think it's all part of the plan, man. Because listening back to his music, it always just tripped me out. Because before he even died, there would always be little lines I would hear where it's like, if I die yesterday, my life will be a victory. And like hella shit referencing his death.
How about that? Yeah,
like
he
was
wrote that
ready
one
to
song
die.
where I can't remember which album it was on, but he was actually talking about he was in a car with his homeboy that just
Blue Laces too.
Yeah, Blue Laces too. Yeah. That's a crazy song.
Yeah.
Because like that actually was like he described it so vividly, and then his own self was in like a similar situation, which is just. I mean, we got to stop that shit though, man. Killing each other over like some stupid shit, like just killing each other in general. It's like. Why?
Yeah, and I think this is going to be something that sparks that, though. Because just the fact to see all
tired
those
of it.
gangs get together like that shit was, like, huge.
people thought that would never happen.
No, impossible.
Ever.
Like, the gang leaders put their pride to the side and said, you know what, even if my gang hates me, like, we need to stop this shit.
Of course.
But this is
And
what
they all got
happened when you give people limited resources, though. Like, you go into these areas and they just have, exactly. They got limited resources. They don't have enough money to feed their family. They don't have enough money to pay the light bill. And so it's like, they growing up and they're, like, watching all these other people do shit and they're like, how do I get some of that? And there's like very limited options for them.
Yeah.
And they weren't taught like necessarily another way to get it.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and that's why someone like Nipsey was so impactful because he was inspiring people like me who grew up in a more privileged area. So imagine what he was inspiring these people who grew up in these horrible situations. It's like he turned from a street hood, rolling 60s Crip into one of the most influential business media moguls in the world. And through his death, like their whole that's like the memorial service tomorrow for him in Staples Center. Who dies and has a whole 21,000 seat theater sold out within 3 fucking minutes, dude. 3 minutes. I was sitting in line at 9:30 when it started and I didn't even get a ticket.
Man.
Shit is nuts, bro. Like that's how you want to die. If you die, like I get people's like, oh, legacy. Like that's a fucking legacy right there.
Yeah.
Through his death, gang members of all these different areas got together, marched to his thing. They renamed Crenshaw and Slauson to Nipsey Square.
Yeah.
Like they fucking Staples Center sold out 21,000 seats.
Hell yeah.
All these people, like he created such a fucking that's a fucking a wave right there. They talk about planets blowing up and exploding into energy and creating more planets. That's what fucking happened.
Did you hear his mom talk about that?
Yeah, he said the way his mom described him brought me to tears, bro. He was saying like fucking. She was saying shit like he was so pure with his spirit. He had an aroma to him. He had a light to him, and was like saying all this impactful shit.
And her face though, she wasn't like
She wasn't sad at all.
She wasn't sad. Like
She wasn't sad
She was
at
like
all.
his energy's everywhere now. Like, and that was like the coolest part to see. Like, if she's okay, we can be okay too.
Facts.
You know
If
what
she's
I mean?
okay,
Like,
we can be okay.
Facts.
because I'll be honest, like I loved Nipsey's personality and his persona, of course, and like you know the business shit he did. I was not a huge listener of his music.
Me neither.
Until he passed. I'll be honest, like I'm just like a lot of
Even
other
still,
people.
like actually, I'll go back and listen. I mean, there's other artists that I preferred better. I mean, his voice was interesting to me. Like there were some things he would say that I would like kind of latch onto, but it was just more like what he was doing outside the music. And then when I heard like the way like you know that he was like touching so like just that level of energy, like that's such a rare thing in this world. Like,
well, that's the thing, bro. It's like he literally is the reason that I am where I am now. I remember driving back from school in Ohlone, driving on the freeway, heading back to Pleasanton. I remember slapping, I think it was The Marathon Continues. It was either it was outro. It was the outro of The Marathon Continues. And he's like literally speaking to you. He's like, I hope you, when you walking through the scene, you see my blueprint. And was like literally like putting it out. He's like, while they was hating, had their feet up on the couch, I was out there getting and like saying hella shit, like how he did it, what to do, like telling you exactly how to change your life. And I was listening to this and I absorbed it all. I was like, you know what? Fuck this school shit. This shit is not for me. And like started reading hella books, went to the library, started gaming up on hella shit. And that's how I got where I am now. And that's
music
the thing.
is so like people's words can be so influential. That's amazing.
Well, and it's funny that you say like you're not a huge fan of his music. I guarantee if I gave you a game of songs that have touched me, you would love them because he did have a lot of songs that like even last time that I checked on Victory Lap, it's more of like a standard kind of last time that I checked.
Right.
That's like a rap. It's a radio song.
It's a rap song.
Yeah.
But if you listen to his songs that have message, like because like he has songs that were like for the radio, and then he had songs that were like packed with fucking game.
Yeah.
I could give you 3 songs off top right now. Like
Give
fucking,
them. What are they? You said off top. Let's
for
go.
real. Outro. There's this one song.
What album is that on?
The Marathon Continues.
Marathon Continues. Okay.
There's another one. I think it's called Blessings or something. I know it through. It's called I Don't Fuck With You, but you have to let it play past like 5 minutes and then it starts.
Oh, wow.
And he's like, welcome
Okay.
to all the new Marathon members. It's fucking dope. And he's like, it's fucking powerful.
I know Victory Lap. Victory Lap. The first one on He's Spitting Knowledge.
Yeah.
And I know Dedication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's off his newest album.
The
too.
newest album. Yeah, exactly.
And that was his first real album. The
And-
rest of his stuff was all mixtapes, right?
Yeah. Am I Gonna Make It is another one off the Marathon Continues that's packed with fucking game.
Oh, so you
too.
really like the album Marathon Continues?
It's
Like, clearly.
gold.
Yeah, okay.
That's when he really
the
started.
one. Okay.
The Marathon is when he started with the motivational shit. The Marathon Continues is like one of the peaks of it.
Okay.
And then he had the other
That's the one I gotta go
mixtapes.
listen to. Okay.
Yeah,
The
because
Marathon
they're top
Continues.
down on there is fire. Sound of My Ceremony's fire. There's my 2 favorite Nipsey Hussle mixtapes. If you guys want to listen to the Marathon Continues and Extra Laps.
Extra Lap.
Extra
Fire.
Laps.
Fire.
Okay.
And then the Victory Lap was dope, but there was a lot of radio shit.
Yeah,
on
there was
too.
a lot of radio. I mean, I had listened to a couple of other things when you first gave it to me, but I didn't even jump into those because it was like a long selection. So I was like, Slauson Boy 1. Let's go,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, and that's the thing too. Is like his first music. What was it? Bullets Ain't Got No Names. That was
Yeah.
like way more hood shit.
Way more hood, yeah.
But once he started to get into like really giving game, like he's the
Yeah.
reason I bought Pro Tools. He had a fucking line in one of his songs. He's like, "Drop your nuts and make your own moves. Buy your own bag. Get your own Pro Tools or some shit like that."
Yeah.
I was like, "What's Pro Tools?" And I looked it up. I was like, "Copping it." And
Damn.
like it's like facts. Like he was telling you step by step, like do this, do this, do this.
That reminds
do
me
this.
of that old Luda song. He was like actually broke down the music
Yep.
game. Remember that?
Yeah, that's how I got to the position as well. Song like that, like sign yourself to yourself,
Yourself.
start writing your own checks. Yeah,
Hey,
Shit
that
was hard.
actually right there was mine. I was like, you know what? I'm always gonna pay myself.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm not
facts.
gonna let anybody pay me because I don't want anyone to control my time, to control my mind, like to control what I want to do. It's like I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make my own checks, and like that's actually like that should always be your goal for every person.
Facts.
Like,
Hell yeah.
sometimes I don't even understand the mentality of like. Yeah, I mean, it's just like the whole employee thing. Like,
No,
sometimes,
speak on it, bro. Let them know.
well, one reason I was saying, like, I would never want my employees to see this, but sometimes I'm like, looking at them like, why do you work for me?
You either
know,
work
like-
for yourself or you building someone else's dreams.
But then I also, like my partner says, like some people, they're just not in them. Like they don't want to take the risk. They don't want to deal with like what you got to deal with when you're up at late at night trying to worry about like what moves you got to make. Like, right now, like you're trying to get your shit off the ground. Like you got to know like, all right, hey, there's a light at the end of this tunnel,
Yeah.
And that's the hardest part of it. But like I guess once you do make it, then you're kind of like, well, why are you still here? But then it's like you make it a comfortable environment. But I just don't understand that mentality. Like I hated like when like I used to work for my uncle actually, and I was in college, and so I was always like good at math, and I was like looking at what I was billing. I was a CPA, so I was like, all right, well, he's paying me at the time like whatever $30 an hour.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like, I remember I worked on this big job, and he made like, some racks off it or whatever. Next week, rolls up in a new car. I was like, where's my new car? And then it was like probably like 3 months after that, I was like, I'm out.
Yeah, you're like, well, I need to start getting my own shit. Okay, so I remember that secret song. It's called Bigger Than Life. I could play a little bit of it if you want.
It is what it is.
Test this shit out.
I mean, play it, yeah.
Before you say that, Nipsey did shit Tupac talked about.
Facts.
Yes.
Someone told me, Pac did this, Pac did that. I'm like, listen, Nipsey was in the streets doing this. That's one of the things, too.
Would there be a Nipsey without Pac?
Oh, no.
The thing is that Pac's...
Say that line you just told me the other day.
The butterfly effect,
Pac
bro.
might not be the
spark. Or Pac might not be the person to change the world, but he sparked the person to change the world.
And he actually, but Pac actually said that. I just want to be the spark for one person.
Yeah.
See,
and that's what Nipsey was.
Like that's why you do shit. Like
that's what.
That's why your passion's got to be out there.
And the next Nipsey is coming because they listen to Nipsey.
But now there's gonna be, like you said the other day, there's gonna be so many more Nipseys because now
might be my spark, little Travis.
Hey, there we go.
Let's hope I don't die though.
No, me. I don't want to be the one to die. Like, I'm supposed to spark you.
Keep the energy.
Yeah, for real.
Hey, let's keep it positive over here. Like.
Exactly.
But hey, no, I felt like when we first met, like you was like, man, like I like what you're doing, like and then I was like, well, I liked your energy too, so it was like, maybe like
bounce off each other,
Met in the middle.
Well, that's what it's about. That's why I posted that story. That was directed to you and a couple other people on my Instagram story today. I was saying like, I love to see my own success, but I love to see the success of the people around me.
Hell yeah.
And like, if you are so self-centered with the knowledge and the power and the things that you've learned through your life that you're not willing to give it off to your friends and the people around you in fear that they might pass you, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like, you should not be afraid to pass on and let someone surpass you. I want everyone around me to surpass me.
You want everyone to surpass me.
Exactly, because then it's a give and take. It's like, if you surpass me, I really fucking hope you gonna give me some knowledge I ain't never had before.
If I win, y'all win. If
exactly.
y'all win, I win.
Yeah. And that's what it's about. So I've met a lot of people who are like even people I try to get on the podcast.
That's different though. Like most people do not think that way. There's so many people that are just like holed up in their own thing, and that's what I was talking about, that $10 thing. You know what? Next time it was a business deal, I'm not picking that person. I'm gonna be like, I want to be with someone that wants to collaborate and wants to like actually like look at the big picture and like really do stuff together.
I have a ton of friends I've helped in camera stuff, making connections, and it's like, not that I need them to reach out to me or to help me or to keep me involved. Yeah. But it's like, when I was doing something, I made sure they were involved. You know what I'm saying? Or these people were involved.
And then
the
they
whole
make
group.
a move and they don't hit you. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Like, man.
Supposed to all win.
But see, I read something today. It was like, there are no mistakes in life. There are just lessons. You know?
Facts. Well, that's kind of interesting. I was playing a video game of all things. Surprisingly, there's a lot of...
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of...
I'm not too surprised that you were playing a video game.
Okay, I don't play as much as I used to.
Come on. I used to like go over to Travis's house and like
Mortal
it would be
Kombat,
like 4 boxes of pizza and his boy would be on the couch and they're like, we're on level 82 of Gondor.
Well, no. I would be making
I'm like,
music.
get up, Travis. You got to work.
I would be making music in the lab, and then Jordan, J Nutty, would be in the back hitting the sticks on Mortal Kombat.
Hitting the sticks on Mortal Kombat.
We just maxed them out. Yeah.
No, you guys were playing Assassin's Creed, remember?
Oh, yeah. That shit was... Oh, no, that was the fucking... It was like the Assassin's Creed pirate game or some shit.
Some crazy
shit was nuts.
That shit's funny.
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can get this.
You better be able to.
Music popping off here.
Nipsey.
Yeah, that shit was fucked up. So what's your dreams, Rob?
Me, well, I really like this. I got a little apparel line that I'm putting together.
Oh, really? Like, what's it?
It's more like accessories. So I'm gonna have, of course, t-shirts and like hoodies and shit. But I want to do like tote bags.
Okay.
I want to do like mugs and plates.
I
want to do like a bunch of almost decor and have my own brand and have my own line. As far as like art,
like home decor, art, like just something different.
Something different. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what I'm pushing for. I was working at a doctor's office for 4 years. It just wasn't what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Wasn't what I wanted to do. And I haven't been doing that for like 2 months, or no, a month now. And I've made the same amount of money, which is crazy.
I got to figure it out.
See?
You know, it's like I don't need to be working.
I don't need to be doing what I don't want to do.
Yeah, well, that's one of the
hot in here, boy.
If it's getting hot,
it's also when you start drinking red wine too, like with no AC. It's
facts. Well, they need to put AC in. I'm talking to them about that. We getting too good for no AC, man.
I ain't coming back till there's an AC.
It ain't that bad, man. It's just a little bit.
We just need to like be drinking with someone with ice next time. I'll remember.
Facts. I'm gonna pull this Nipsey song up here.
But see, it's funny. I was getting hot earlier. I was like, man, it's getting heated up in here.
One of my all-time favorites right here.
I'd like to welcome everybody out tonight.
What year is this?
This is the Marathon mixtape, December 28th, 2010.
Experience of a lifetime.
That's when I first started listening to him, like 29 or 2009, 10.
No, I don't want your love. That's not why I make music. I owe myself. I told myself back then that I would do this, and I always looked so out of reach and just seemed so confusing. That I found my place in life, a young black man that seems so useless. But I don't want no help. Just let me suffer through this. The world would not know Jesus Christ if there was never Judas. This knife that's in my back will be the truth that introduced us. In the distance in between us is the proof of my conclusion. So life is what you make it. I hope you make a movement. Hope your opportunity survives the opportunist. Hoping as you walk across the sand you see my shoe print and you follow till it change your life, cause it's all evolution. And I hope you find your passion, cause I found mine in this music. But I hope it's not material, cause that's all an illusion. And they all in collusion. This racist institutions double standard, acting like they not the reason why we ruthless. But tonight is my night.
Damn.
Shit's heavy. That's just the first half too.
Deep.
Real deep.
Yeah.
Damn.
All right, yeah, I gotta give that a listen.
Well, see, and
I haven't actually heard someone make music like that recently.
That's what I'm saying,
I need
bro.
to listen to that 2 or 3 more times.
2 or 3 more times, because there was so much depth to that verse. Like,
and that's why that line where he said, "The world would not know Jesus Christ if there was never Judas. This knife that's in my back will be the truth that introduced us." And that's what when he died like that, bro. Yeah. That's what introduced the world to Nipsey Hussle, because a snake stabbed him in the back, and now he sparked the world like Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? Like
the fact there was a lot of imagery in that whole that
he
verse.
keeps
that
going
last
too.
line got me. I think when he's talking
double
about
standard, acting like they're not the reason that we ruthless.
Yes, that's deep.
It is.
That's fucking deep.
Here you know what? We just to spark this conversation. I'm
just play the.
I'm gonna skip the chorus.
Let's see if you put as much effort into the second verse.
It's Nip, bro. Come on.
I started, and look at where I'm standing. Y'all can say it's luck, but I know that it's planning. Shout out to the pain that gave me understanding. Shout out to my gang, turned me to a savage. So niggas say what they want to, but I go through what you haven't. And it's not ego driven, it's not me boasting and bragging. This road I chose to go down, hard to slow down when in traffic. In order for me to grow, I had to let go of some habits. And it's easy to say I'm on now cause you see it and it happened. But before it ever did, had to believe and get it cracking. So I'm gonna take you back then, 32 shots in my Mac 10. With a dream minus the means, my early teens was fucking tragic. And deep inside my mind is buried crimes you can't imagine. That I wrestle with at night, demons I fight, I can't get past it. So no matter how straight your casket, it don't matter if you plastic. We was looking for the lights and all we stumbled across was flashes. But tonight is my night.
I'm gonna skip that second chorus.
I mean, he said, like, we were talking about earlier about the karma, though. He said, crimes I did that kept me up at night.
Yeah,
like,
buried in my mind, you can't imagine. So you never know. But
I mean, because the way he said that, I believe him.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean, it's not like he just was throwing that out there.
He's got conviction in his voice. That here, I'm just gonna
a lot of conviction in his voice.
I'm just gonna let it run.
So if it's meant, then it's gonna be. People love it because they know that this the real me.
Song, we don't get these
Cops
anymore.
hate it, so they hope my homies kill me. But I ain't want the fame. I just wanted y'all to feel me. It's my time, so I'm going in. We ball till we fall. Fuck how the story ends. I see these niggas hating. I know you hoes plotting. I ain't worried about it. Cause I know God got me. Say I know God got me. Yeah, I know God got me. Yeah, I know God got me. See, I ain't worried about it. Cause I know God got me. Once in a lifetime shit, you know. Song dedicated to everybody out there with a motherfucking dream. Fuck what they say, do your shit. Marathon, nigga. This shit ain't gonna stop till I say it's gonna stop. It ain't gonna stop till you say it's gonna stop. and it ain't gonna be unless you make it. It's your time. Get up off your ass. 10 toes down out here.
I can imagine you like listening to
God, I
this.
shed
Like,
tears in this.
Well, and the crazy part about this song too was I didn't even know it was called Bigger Than Life until today, but it was always on. It was one of those songs where it like ran for 3 minutes, and then there was like a minute and a half of like no sound, and then it came on. So I had it running in my car. I was like, oh, something happened.
yeah.
And then it just came on out of nowhere, and he's like, I'd like to welcome all the new Marathon members. I was like, holy shit.
Jay-Z used to do that in his old school albums. Like, you'd be like, let it leak, and all of a sudden at the end, be like, whoa.
Some more.
Man,
I've been thinking about the same thing. Like, you got to give up habits to grow as a person.
You do.
You know what I mean? And I was like, that just spoke to me right there.
Well,
that is actually one of the hardest things to do, though, because I think as people were so habitual, like we do, you wake up, you brush your teeth, you grab something to eat, you like actually like most people will like they'll have a pattern of their day. I'm gonna go to the gym, and after I go to the gym, then I'm gonna go to the work, and then after I go to the work, I'm gonna go do this, and like you just get in this like routine, and then it's like hard to like break out of that routine because you feel so comfortable with what you know.
Yeah.
Which is why you see people just stuck in what they're doing daily after day, but you can't never feel comfortable in where you are, and that's actually one of the things that's the hardest is when you get successful. It's so easy to just sit there and be comfortable. I think I was telling you this other day. I was like, you know what? I was like, it's easy to just sit there, eat, get fat, be comfortable, and not like do shit anymore. But then it's like, what's driving you? Like, what if you're sitting there like that's the rest of your life?
Yeah.
And I was like, hell no, nope.
Well, that's what Nipsey said too. I'm gonna be quoting him till the day I die. Success is the greatest threat to your future success.
Yeah.
Your current success is the greatest threat to your future success, which is facts. It's
facts.
When people win, you're like, cool, I won. I proved myself.
Yep.
Like everybody knows I won now. I'm going to kick back, put my feet up. It's like, no, like you got to keep winning if you're trying to get anywhere.
End of 2015, all throughout 2016, I'm shooting music videos, okay?
Yeah.
I end up shooting for my favorite artist, Chippas.
Wow.
And I'm like...
So that you were probably like, I made it.
But it was like... That was like what I wanted to do. I wanted to shoot him a music video. And I shot like 3 or 4. You know what I mean? He took me to Oregon on a little tour. Like, it was dope. But then I came home and it was like...
What do I do now?
After that, it was just like... It was like... You put limits to yourself. You shouldn't. You should keep working. Now I can work with other artists that are big. Now I can do this. But it was like... I got to that like... Not apex, but like I got to a point where I'm just like...
Well, you had a goal. Like you actually said... And then in your mind, you're like... It's at the time you said that goal, it's like, I ain't never going to do this. But then when it happens, then you're like... Then that you might reset your goals, but at that point, it's hard to reset your goal at such a high level because you've already like... It's your mind changes. You actually have to really blow it out, and then don't set goals like in the traditional way anymore.
You gotta fucking set your goals so fucking high.
It's not even. It can't be high. It has to be more like something that's it's almost unattainable, like to where you're gonna like maybe like in a Nipsey standpoint, it was like I'm gonna have an impact on every single person that picks up my CD. So it's not like I'm gonna sell, I'm gonna make this money, or I'm gonna do this. It's just gonna be like I'm gonna have a global impact with my music.
Yeah.
Right, that's something that's very difficult to attain.
Yeah.
You know, so if he was probably driving towards something like that.
Yeah.
Damn.
Where if you just say, "Oh, I want to make $10 million," you'll make it.
Yeah.
If you're goal driven, you'll make it. You'll blow it, or you just get it and be like, well, "Okay, what now?"
Yeah.
You know, versus like, I really want to do something that's different.
Yeah, you want to impact the world. Yeah.
Like I was like, you know what? At the end of the day, I was like, I'd like to have like 100 people that are more successful than me that I've mentored.
Yeah.
And like just like at one day, you know, because that could be my legacy. Like when I'm like boom, and like one of those people could be someone that changes the world, you know.
Yeah, facts.
And it's like I was a part of that, and I helped like almost like teaching, you know, because I think teaching is the purest form of people that have learned, like to go give back. Because if you really take your time and your knowledge and you give it to someone without any expectation of anything in return, then that's like the greatest gift that you could give of your knowledge.
Yeah.
Damn.
You know, like your teachers, think about it. They're out. I mean, they're teaching you, and they're getting paid a very limited sum of money. But they're doing, and a lot of the good teachers, they really just want to make you smarter. They want to make you better.
Yeah.
And when you find like people like that, it's like, it's like I'm always looking for mentors. I'm always looking for people to learn. You know.
Facts. And I feel like that's true because like a lot of people, whenever they do something nice for someone, they're always expecting something in return. It's very rare that you find someone who just like
just do it, like
just
whatever.
gives it to you, and then you're like, well, what do you want? I don't want nothing.
I want nothing.
Just I want to see you win.
I want to see you win. Yeah, I just want to see you win. And that's like, I think I read something from from Jay-Z back in the day. Is like the purest form of giving is when you give anonymously and the person that receives, they don't know who got it, who gave it to them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's just like it just kind of crosses boundaries, and this person receives, and without even knowing where it came from, but exactly what they needed, right? Just like dropped out of the sky.
They said Prince did a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah,
where he would give back and he doesn't want any recognition.
Doesn't even the person even that's getting it. They don't even want it to know that this came from Prince. It's just like it's an anonymous benefactor. You just don't even know.
Mm-hmm. I actually watched a commercial about Dwayne Wade because today was his last game ever. He just retired. Damn. And it made me tear up, bro. It was a Budweiser commercial, and it was 5 people giving him, like, one person gave him a jersey, one person gave him a blazer that he wore to his first job interview after he talked to Dwayne Wade.
Damn.
One person gave him the cap and gown because he paid for their scholarship, and their parents wouldn't have been able to afford her to go to college. It was super emotional. I was like,
damn.
But the first thing it said was, "I bet this will make you cry." I'm like,
damn.
Dwayne Wade, I ain't crying over
there. I'm a
Wade.
LeBron James fan. What the fuck? But then I look and I was like, damn, dude, like my eyes got watery and then like one drop. I'm like,
you're like, who's watching?
But yeah, it was super touching. I want everyone to look at that, actually. The Budweiser commercial for Dwayne Wade. Really good. And Budweiser did it. It has nothing to do with beer, by the way.
Budweiser. Hey, Budweiser, our sponsor today. I just want to let you know, we're all just secured this.
Send me a case of beer.
Send me a case of beer.
For real. 6-pack. That's all I want.
I ain't drinking any beer. I'm trying to, no more beer.
Yeah, no more beer.
Well, it's funny that we're talking about like these big charity things.
Don't gain it now, because when you get older, it's just like a disappearing act. Is like, you're like, okay, all right, here's what I'm going to eat today. 1 apple, 5 almonds, and 2 glasses of wine.
And you still gain weight.
I'm like, shit, I still gained some weight. All right, fine. 2
I've
glasses of wine.
I've been working out pretty consistently this last week.
Have
I've been getting it in, trying to eat right.
Winning.
Trying to eat right. It's hard, man. It's hard.
I almost made Travis throw up one time in the gym.
Oh, I would say throw up.
Oh, I thought Travis was the guy.
That's what he was fucking going. See, he tricked me though.
I did trick him a little
Only
bit.
reason he got me because he was like, "Oh, we gonna do these sprints." I was like, "Okay, sprints." So I get on this thing, running full speed on one of those treadmills that just like runs with you.
Kind of pretty funny little trick.
So I ran full speed for like 45 seconds.
I mean, I'm talking about full speed. He's probably going like 14 miles an hour.
Fucking
shit.
pumping.
There's no stop to
Pumping.
think. So he just keeps going, goes.
I got
and then
legs
I
too.
was like, damn, Chad, that's pretty good. I get on there, 5 seconds, I get off. I'm like, you're supposed to get your top speed, then you get off.
So I'm like sitting there.
I was like, now we gotta do 4 more of these.
I was like, what? So he punked me.
Funny.
He punked me hard.
Well, you're younger. You got to be able to do that shit.
Oh yeah, no, it's good. We gonna do it again.
We should do
but
it.
But we
again.
gonna do my workouts the whole time.
Oh, we're gonna do your workouts. Get the little bands. Be like, yeah, I'm trying.
Flexibility.
He's got that little like staff of life. Do you think he's like doing a little band?
Yeah.
So do you have any like extreme, I would say, rituals or practices you do on a daily, like as far as what you eat or what you work out as, or what time you go to sleep?
Mentality, even.
I mean, I think the main thing is that when everything I try to do, like I try to attack it with a lot of passion, or I don't do it. Like, and that's just like a simple thing for me. It's like if I don't feel like I'm gonna bring passion to something, I'm out. Like let's say I was like earlier today, like I wasn't feeling it. Like I was like, I got a lot of energy today. I'm not really gonna do this podcast. I don't want to be on here just like doing things to do things. I want everything I do to be impactful. And so if I'm working on a project, I want to believe in it. Like I don't want to just do it. Like I cut things all the time. So if I don't want to go to the gym, I don't go to the gym. You don't just do it to go. You got to go and go hit it.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, the main ritual, I mean, is just that. I mean, you have to find something in you that you believe in and that you can just hold on to. And I found like myself more hungry today to get to the next level than I was when I was, his age trying to find the first level. It's a different kind of hunger though. Like, cause when you have something, then you realize that there's like, all right, I'm not doing it for money. I'm not doing it for money. I'm doing it for like legend. Like for my own legend though. Like I want to know that I put everything I could into everything I do. And if I'm not, then I'm letting myself down because you have like some people just are given like certain talents in like certain areas. And like, I'm good at like what I do. Like, and I realized I was good at what I do when, I look around the room and I'm one of the youngest guys to have his name on the door of a real estate company that, has, I got like $1 billion plus of real estate, so, and on my name. So it's not like most people will go work for a guy like me, but I was like, fuck that. I'm not working. I'm going to work for myself. And to get to that level. And now I'm like, you know what? I want to take on the big guys, you know. It's like I want to take them on and then change it. Because like right now, like you rent an apartment. How do they treat you?
Like I'm just a fucking
Another
piece
person
of paper.
that pays
yeah.
money there.
Yeah.
Like a throughput, right? Just
Yeah.
like, hey, just shuffle the body, shuffle the body. No, like so right now I'm like, that's what I want to change. Like, I mean, we're providing like housing, but I want to provide like it to be like, hey man, what's up, bro? Like, you know, I want my people to like be able to actually come by, like, and really care about where you live, like, because I think
community,
I mean, not even just a community, like from the people to the people, but like just from the person that owns the building, that you're not just a rent check or a piece of paper, or I don't give a hell about your problems. Like, I'll fire all my managers that treat people like that, because I want to do. Like, when was the last time you got a customer survey from the owner of your building that asked you how your living experience was?
Never. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, never.
Why not? Don't most businesses like ask their customers how they like their experience?
Yeah.
They just don't care, because once they buy the building, they just want to let. There's like a dirty secret where like they just buy this building and they just depreciate it to shit, and just like they want to take the cash flow out of it, and they don't want to spend money on it because they don't care.
Facts.
But
So
there's
in
a
Oakland-
long-term way to make money. Like, what if you never left, and how do you treat your apartment that they treat you so well? Just out of curiosity.
I treat it relatively well. I mean, I got a
relatively
girlfriend. I got to
well
keep it
'cause
up.
you
You
want
know?
But do you care about, like, you're like, oh, I want to make sure that no.
Yeah.
No, you're paying rent, and you're like, I don't care. But like, if the relationship was different, you might care a little
Oh
differently.
yeah. I would feel bad for every little dent and every little thing.
Right.
That's true, because at the outside of my apartment, I got hella spider webs up there right now. I'm like, what the fuck?
Right.
Yeah.
It's just little stuff
And
like
they could
that.
have been cleaning that shit. They got
Easy.
people out there
The guy-
every day.
The guy will walk right by. Cause like when I go out on property tours, like, I mean, even though I'm like our CFO, chief investment officer, like I have a more passion for like what the consumer touches. Like that's what I really believe in.
Yeah.
And so like I'll go out to my thing and I'm like, why like that? Why is there spider webs? Why is this person door all dinged up? Like, you know, like if I was coming home every day and I'm already maybe mad I'm living in an apartment, I want to get my own house or whatever, why am I walking up to this a door and it's like all dinged up, not painted, there's a cobweb over it, and the guy like walks right by,
Doesn't give
I was like, I
a
don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
So, I mean, one thing is that. So, like, that's like my passion right now. So that's what I was saying. That's a goal that's different, because I'm not trying to make money. I'm trying to like actually change
the game,
a person's experience. Yeah, change the game, exactly.
Well, you guys, I'm gonna use the restroom real quick. I
gotta go too.
Yeah.
Want to wrap it up?
Yeah. Well, we don't have. We could just pause it real quick and jump back on if you guys got time. If not, we could save this for a part 2.
I think we should do a part 2. He says he's got to go.
Yeah, we gotta do part 2.
Part 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be back.
Well, there it is. For all I know.
For all I know.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Tom,
Thank
for
y'all
coming
for
out.
having me.
You go
I really
see him again.
appreciate you, bro.
Yeah,
You go see
appreciate
him
you guys,
again.
man. It's been a pleasure.
God bless.